The 1902 French silent film, A Trip to the Moon, challenges its viewer to explore not only the mystery of space, but the new frontier of the human conscious. The advent of the new century breathed life into men's thirst for transcendent experience. It was a silent picture frozen in time, before we traded wonder for reason. A Trip to the Moon is praised for its set pieces, backdrops, and powerful imagery. This masterpiece essentially gave birth to the science fiction genre, proving once and for all that silent films are full of sound, inaudibly free. While 1920s America was enjoying its economic boom, Europe was in shell shock. The shrapnel remains of the Great War loomed over it like a shadowy specter. The class divide became more and more visible as social and economic structures were corroding. The film Metropolis touches on these themes perfectly. In this world, the Machiavellian titans of industry waged war with their laboring counterpart. Metropolis has many themes. Tower of Babel, the allegory of Babylon, and the allegory of the cave. The protagonist is an upper-class elite who is shocked to learn the harsh realities he was formerly oblivious to. The film also begs the question, what does it mean to be human? Which is personified in the female, more human than human lead. Metropolis is straight up terrifying, for much of it still holds true today. It would go on to inspire films like Blade Runner, The Matrix,
This will feel a little weird.
Dark City,
How you feel?
You know how I was supposed to feel. That person isn't me. It never was. You wanted to know what it was about us that made us human. Well, you're not gonna find it in here. You went looking in the wrong place.
R2-D2,
and
where are you? At last.
Star Wars!
What are we going to do?
The French film Alphaville was of note for taking place in modern Paris, without using a backdrop and set pieces as a crutch. Alphaville is a very well-filmed love story, seamlessly woven in and out of a dense Orwellian plot.
Ça.
Non. Ça, je sais ce que c'est. C'est la volupté.
Non. La volupté est une conséquence. Elle n'existe pas sans l'amour.
Alors l'amour, c'est quoi?
Due to its cultural and importance and commercial success, Patrick was forced to include Star Wars. After all, it did revolutionize the concept of the franchise. George Lucas is, and always was, a talentless hack. 70s Lucas didn't surround himself with yes men that did his insipid, vapid bidding.
Your lack of faith disturbing. You have failed me for the last time, Admiral.
I take it you say action after we roll camera?
I'll say
You
action.
don't.
Sometimes I
some
forget.
People forget.
If I forget to say action or cut, just step in and say action and cut.
Star Wars was the first franchise that successfully marketed products from toys to video games to popcorn machines.
But there is just so much breaking Star Wars news that we had to film. I think he got more outside of the Death Star popcorn maker than he did inside the Death Star popcorn maker.
I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Can we just do this later?
No, Jay, we can't just do this later. Look, you signed a contract with Disney, this program to make pathetic fucking shill videos, okay?
Star Wars isn't really sci-fi as much as it is a high fantasy space opera. It has space wizards, a princess, and a damsel in distress. It's kinda Hamlet, kinda Macbeth, kinda King Lear, and that's pretty much it. Ridley Scott's Blade Runner is a cinematic masterpiece. While it has some political themes of the time, its focus is on dense, metaphysical themes. This film asks the question, where does body meet soul?
All those moments will be lost in time. Like tears in rain.
The plot of Blade Runner personifies these themes through the lens of the replicants.
Do you mind if I smoke?
It won't affect the test.
They are programmed to have self-actualization, as well as feelings and past experiences.
Those aren't your memories. They're somebody else's. They're Tyrell's nieces.
As much as Patrick and I love Blade Runner, it's not without its faults. It's got a 2-hour runtime. Running time for pace is garbage. Does this scene need to be this long? Does this need to be in the movie? Or this? Regardless, Blade Runner is a masterpiece that everyone should see. Starship Troopers is a masterpiece that critics hate for some reason. And yes, Patrick wishes his whole presentation could be on this movie. Starship Troopers serves itself well as a big, dumb action movie with hollow protagonists that have nothing behind their eyes. Underneath this, however, is a comical satire on fascism and warrior culture.
We are going in with first wave. You smash the entire area. You kill anything that has more than 2 legs. You get me? We get you, sir.
It is directed like a World War II propaganda reel.
Are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you? Join the mobile infantry and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship.
The only good bug is a dead bug.
It's salient with Nazi imagery. Its propaganda shorts encouraging the citizens of the world to have national pride and perpetuate the war machine. In this scene, the lesson of the day is Hiroshima was awesome, and violence solves all problems.
Sorry, Mr. Ratchak.
Let's sum up. This year we explored the failure of democracy, how the social scientists brought our world to the brink of chaos. We talked about the veterans, how they took control.
Said violence never solves anything.
Really? I wonder what the city fathers of Hiroshima would say about that. You.
They probably wouldn't say anything. Hiroshima was destroyed.
Correct. Naked force has resolved more issues throughout history than any other factor. The contrary opinion, that violence never solves anything, is wishful thinking at its worst. People who forget that always pay. Rico, what's the moral difference, if any, between a civilian and a citizen?
A citizen accepts personal responsibility for the safety of the body politic, defending it with his life. A civilian does not.
The exact words of the text. But do you understand it? Do you believe it?
I don't know.
Everyone in this society is a cog in the wheel of the state. There is no room for individuality. Disobedience is met with brutal violence. There is also an intergenerational facet of this culture. All of the adults are mortally wounded and replaced by the young.
The world was stunned today by the death of Diego Ricardo, the youngest person on the planet. Baby Diego was stabbed outside a bar in Buenos Aires after refusing to sign an autograph.
Witnesses at the scene say that Diego spat in the face of a fan who asked for an autograph. He was killed in the ensuing brawl. The fan was later beaten to death by the angry crowd. Born in 2009, the son of Marcelo and Silvia Ricardo, a working-class couple from Mendoza, he struggled all his life with the celebrity status thrust upon him as the world's youngest person.
In a terrible future, which all sci-fi movies take place, man has become infertile. As the population declines, so do people's ability to connect with each other. Different factions wage war. There is an immigrant crisis. Clive Owen's character, a product of the old world, is caught in the middle. Clive Owen operates as the eyes and ears of the viewer. It is discovered in the second act that a refugee is pregnant.
The head's coming out. That's it. You're nearly there. You're nearly there. Just push.
Impactful stuff happens that I don't have time to talk about that forces Clive Owen's character to escort the Virgin Mary figure to a safe place away from this terrible world. Watch this scene. It's awesome.
Stop! Cease fire! Cease firing!
All right, I'm out. I have to go to work or something. One more scene, then the presentation ends. Enjoy.
There's a lot in Blade Runner 2049 that simply goes unsaid, meaning that untangling and unpacking some of the plot's details and revelations is going to be a little fuzzy, just like the original. It's impossible to look at the names of two of Blade Runner 2049's most prominent female characters, Joy and Love, and not see them as highly symbolic. Joy was something that Kay longed for and could only find as a prepackaged product that he could buy. Ultimately, Joy was something he could only see and hear, but never actually touch. And by the end, his joy is crushed by Love. And Love, as we see throughout the film, is both beautiful and cruel. By the end, Kay literally grapples with Love and drowns her, all to save Deckard and reunite him with his daughter. For Deckard's love to live, he has to destroy Love himself.